The 7th comic got released, and Valve just seemingly teased something else major coming as well. After the update-sized update fiasco, I don't see Valve saying something like this without meaning it. Look, I'm from Hong Kong. English is not my first language, but even I can see that this portion of the blog that's mentioning the goddamn Spanish government is nothing more than a lighthearted joke. Anyone who isn't huffing 99% pure copium can quite easily comprehend that this portion of the blog is just a good old Team Fortress humor. To those who have been living under a rock, aka having a real life that is interesting and engaging and doesn't require you to bond with fictional characters because nobody wants to talk to you, the 7th TF2 comic was released recently, 7 years after the storyline ended on a cliffhanger. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm getting a sense of deja vu. I wonder whether Valve did something similar before. That sounds really good, right? And it is. Go read the comic or comics now if you haven't done so yet. I mean, go read after finishing this video, okay? Anyways, I personally think the comic is a great way to finish TF2's storyline, and it's as fitting as it can really get. However, every time Valve does something, people just blow it out of proportion. Kinda similar to that GTA 6 trailer thing. So now I'm going to analyze how the community views the comic and give you my personal thoughts on it. By the way, I'm commenting on ideas or thoughts, not people. I won't show anybody's names here because I don't want to have anyone take anything in this video personally. With that out of the way, let's go over each kind of bundles of views on the 7th comic. First, we have heavy update theorists. They think that this blog here is indicative of Valve's plans on the heavy update. With a 3-hour-long SFM trailer, new heavy weapons, a Source 2 port, and a Fortnite collab to attract more underage children to gamble in Team Fortress 2. Then, Valve is gonna release Half-Life 3. It's not gonna be a AAA game, not even Quad A. It's gonna be Penta A, a brand new type of game where you can look outside of your flat's window and get lifelike graphics. Truly a bespoke concept. Finally, Gaben is going to personally deliver cat girls to your door because your sorry ass can't get somebody who can stand you for 2 minutes. Okay, you get the idea, right? What I'm trying to say is, it's kind of this bloomer or copium or optimistic view that's, slightly unrealistic. So if you actually read the blog, Valve didn't explicitly say anything at all except for linking the final installment of the comic. The joke that Valve has made is clearly about them procrastinating and taking too long to do something somewhat trivial. I'm not saying a heavy update isn't coming, I'm just saying we don't know. So, don't get your hopes too high. It's great to be an optimist, but managing your expectations is key to preventing excessive disappointment. And as a Valve or TF2 fan, I'm sure you guys should have picked this trade up long ago. Some say that the comic indicates that Valve will stop working on TF2 ever again, that this comic is a final send-off from Valve. But the frequent small updates to the game suggests otherwise. If they're going to end TF2 right here, right now, Scream Fortress, Smismus, the banning of all the bots, these would all be wasted efforts. And realistically, TF2 still generates quite a bit of revenue for Valve. Quite sizable too. They just got the bronze awards for most microtransactions award on Steam. I don't know what it is. So Valve just don't seem like the type to pass up on a few quick bucks. Moreover, Valve solving the bot crisis can help Valve gather data on cheater and bots and apply them to CS2, Dota, and most importantly, Deadlock. This 17-year-old game surprisingly could be sort of a pseudo-laboratory for Valve to get data to combat cheaters in other games, or be a testing ground to experiment with incorporating community items into the game. So I wouldn't say the comic marks the end of Team Fortress 2. A more moderate take would be that the comic marks the end of official TF2 content from Valve, and hence TF2 will enter into a sort of golden age where content updates are all made by the community, while Valve focuses on technical bug fixes and such. This view more appropriately aligns with the state of TF2 in the past few years, where we get community-made maps, game modes, and cosmetic items with every seasonal update. In other words, TF2 will continue as it was, and the comic is just something extra that Valve wants to finish. I find this to be the most realistic take from the entire situation, because the blog post is just jokes, with a link to the 7th comic. So it seems TF2 will continue as it has been for the past few years. Valve isn't benevolent. I think a week ago, Kavizilla made a video about CS2 gambling sites and its relation to underage gambling. Although there are quite a few questionable points in his video, in general it still shows that Valve isn't some all-powerful, all-good entity in the gaming landscape. Nevertheless, the 7th comic is a great way to end TF2's storyline, and it's cherry on top that Valve isn't doing it for profit, cause you know, the comic is free to read. As for the future of TF2, we just don't know where it's gonna go. On one hand, past experience suggests TF2 is just gonna get the usual seasonal updates from this point forward, but on the other hand, no one expected Valve to just drop the comic willy-nilly. Therefore, I personally wouldn't rule out the possibility of a bigger update coming, but I still wouldn't expect it. Regardless, TF2 is a fun game with or without updates, and honestly, the seasonal updates only lack rebalances and new weapons. Yeah, an SFM trailer would be good, a webpage would be amazing, but these aren't deal breakers for me. At this point, I really only wish for weapon and sniper reworks and changes to the casual matchmaking system. I know the weapon changes and the sniper rework is going out on a limb, but seeing as Valve did change the casual system recently, there really could be a possibility on a casual improvement update. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and Happy New Year.